Rice tariffication. The Philippine economy hit an average inflation rate of 5.2% in the year 2018. And one of the drivers of this high inflation is the price of rice. To combat this, President Rodrigo Duterte passed the Rice Tariffication Act. The Rice Tariffication Act took effect last March 5, 2019, and it aims to ensure availability of cheaper rice for Filipinos and make Filipino farmers more competitive and profitable. But has it really? Since its implementation, the Rice Tariffication Act has been the subject of debates from different sectors of the community. According to Republic Act 11203, otherwise known as the Rice Tariffication Law, tariff refers to a tax levied on a commodity imported from another country. It earns revenues for the government and regarded as instruments to promote local industries by taxing their competitors. The benefit is accorded to the local producers by the maintenance of a domestic price at a level equal to the world plus the tariff. Moreover, the aforementioned act also defines tariffication as the lifting of all existing quantitative restrictions such as imported quotas or prohibitions imposed on agricultural products and replacing these restrictions with tariffs. In other words, the law allows unlimited importation of rice in the Philippines as long as the traders pay the 35% tariff for shipments from member countries of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and 40% tariff for non-ASEAN countries. The collected tariffs will be used for the establishment of the Rice Competitiveness Fund, which will pipe in 10 billion pesos annually for the next 60 years. The RCEF is allocated for the procurement of farm machinery and equipment, rice development, propagation and promotion, as well as expanded rice credit and extension services. What does this mean to the consumers, farmers, and the Philippine economy? Effects of rice tariffication. For positive ones, we have 1. Lower retail prices for consumers. Rice tariffication means lower retail prices for consumers. Since it allows unlimited volume of rice imports to the country, it would eventually stabilize prices and hence would allow possible savings for the consumers. Number 2, it would address the rice shortage. It would also address the urgent need to improve availability of rice in the country, prevent artificial rice shortages, and reduce the prices of rice in the market. Number 3, it would lower inflation rates. The law will also reduce government's role in rice importation and lead to more rice imports by the private sector, thus lowering rice prices and help tame inflation. Number 4, interventions to support rice farmers. RCEF will provide key interventions to support farmers and enhance their competitiveness and profitability. Likewise, it will open up a window for farmers to export and contribute to the world market. Rice tariffication was heralded as a solution to the country's rice problem, but the impacts in the aftermath of its enactment show otherwise. Negative effects of the law. Number 1. New law lacks safety nets for Filipino farmers. The new law would make the farmers compete with cheap rice imports, making them more penniless. Number 2 is the potential displacement of farmers, NFA employees, accredited NFA retailers, rice millers, and rice byproduct producers. Aside from the obvious displacement of rice farmers, NFA employees, and some accredited NFA rice retailers nationwide, the deregulation of rice imports goes beyond the industry. Some of the businesses and industries that will be affected by liberalized rice importation includes the following. Number 1 is the millers. There are around 6,600 registered rice millers all over the country, employing 55,000 workers which are dependent on rice grains. Number two is the animal and feeds and beer industry. A byproduct of the rice milling process, the rice bran is used for making animal and aquaculture feeds. A shortage in local unhusked rice production would also mean there would be a drop in its byproduct. If feed mills produced less, it would cause a possible increase in the prices of pork and chicken, which use rice bran as major ingredient for its feeds. Number three is the biomass construction industry. A drop in local rice output will also mean a decrease in rice hull, which is used as fuel for biomass furnaces used in the provinces to provide electricity. Rice hulls are also used as a binder for cement and land fillers. Number three of the negative effects of the law is it will enable cartels of the rice trade and will throw poor sectors into a worsened state of hunger. There is no guarantee that retail prices will be lower in the long run with unhampered importation. Relying on imports makes the country vulnerable to higher world market prices as well as the rice production and export decisions of other countries. Also have some salient issues on rice tariffication. Number one is rice imports are cheaper than domestically produced rice. Under a free market, the price of rice will decline with the influx of cheaper rice imports. Number two is liberalizing rice imports will help but will not solve the Philippines' inflation problem.